Hi, everybody. Happy Friday, and welcome to episode 19 of my 30 Days of Wellness Lives. My name is Jen Ogden. I am a former run on Duncan corporate gal turned certified integrative health practitioner, AKA holistic health coach. And I'm here today to talk to you about events and how to stay on track without getting frustrated or upset or nervous because you have a plan and all of a sudden you're going to be in an environment that maybe is going to make it a little bit more difficult for you to stay on track. So, this is so common, right? Because when people come to me and they want to get started, they say, Jen, well, I've got this coming up, or I travel too much. I'm an event planner. I run sales meetings, whatever it is. And I say, well, that's great because you're exactly the person that I want to work with, because there is never going to be a time in your life where you are completely on lockdown and staying in your house all the time and can control what you eat. Actually, we had that and it wasn't very fun, right? So be careful what you wish for. What I'm saying though is if you can learn how to manage events, how to put them into your plan, how to just strategically think about how you are going to approach the event, what you want to get out of it, and then stick to the plan. You're going to feel so much better about things. You're going to feel so much more at ease. And if I can teach you do that while we're working together, then you can do it at any time, right? Hey, PJ, thank you so much. I don't think I've ever had anybody joining from South Africa. Thank you, thank you, thank you. PJ, do you travel a lot, or do you have a lot of work events coming up? If so, drop them in the comments. I'd love to know what you're doing. And so, what I didn't pre-schedule this or anything, but who should be watching this, right? Who should be watching this? You should be watching this if you are on a plan and you want to be staying on track. If you are going to a lot of events, if you travel frequently, maybe you've got a lot of weddings come up. It's football season here in the US, right? Everything just kicked off, college football, NFL going on. So there's tailgating parties every single weekend. And if you are a big football fan or sports fan, or you've got soccer, you got kids in school, you got kids in college, whatever, right? There are things going on. So even though you're back from summer and you might be in a more regular routine being maybe at your house, there's still lots of activities going on. And remember, that is life. And I'm all about helping you navigate all of this, helping you find a routine, but also know how to handle these things. Hey, Kathleen, happy Friday. Thanks for joining, girl. So that's really what I want to talk about today. Because if you look back on some of my past events, I can't remember what day it was. Kathleen, I don't know if you remember, but I talked about the weekend and really how to handle the weekend. Because remember, our body doesn't know that it's Saturday or Sunday, or depending on where you are in the world, Friday and Saturday, right? Our body doesn't know that. Right? It's all about the activities that we have, our routines that we've set, the habits that we're following, right? That's what we need to think about. So, reason I really wanted to talk about this is I have a client, and she's Jewish, and we have all the Jewish holidays are coming up. So if you have a Jewish friend, Rosh Hashanah is next week, the Jewish New Year, and we've got Yom Kippur, and then we've got Sukkot, and then, oh my gosh, it's like everything. And she had actually a wedding to go to. So during one of our coaching sessions, sat down and we talked about how she was going to handle this, because this is something where her husband and her kids were getting in the car and they were traveling to this wedding, and there was all the, it was a family event too. So there was a lot of pre-wedding lunches and breakfasts and dinners, and then the actual event, and then the day after, and all the things. And she was nervous about how to handle this. So we strategized about it. So I thought, okay, this is going to be a great topic for a live, because really you can apply this logic to anything. So the first thing that you need to address or settle in your mind is, what are your goals for the event? right? So what your goals are for the event are going to depend on what your goals are currently for your health. So let's take Sarah, for example, right? She is in weight loss mode. So her goal is to go and have a good time and enjoy the event. But she said, look, I want to enjoy some things, but I really want to stay on track. And that is great. And that is totally fine. It's also totally fine if someone decides working with me, I'm going to go to this event, I'm going to enjoy as much of the things as I want, and then I am going to come back and I'm going to be on track. And that can be okay too, right? Especially if this is kind of a really a one-off thing. But for people who I invited also to watch today, we have multiple events going on, right? You can't always get out and indulge on every one of those, right? It's like indulging every weekend and then being great during the week. There's 2, 4, 6, 8 days out of 30, right, where you could be indulging. And I'm telling you, if depending on how you're indulging, that is enough to take all the progress that you made during the weekend, backtrack it all, right? So, PJ, hey there, traveled mostly around the world for agriculture. Routine's the most important thing in travel. Yes, totally agree. You've got to have a routine. You've got to have a strategy, right? So say you decide you are going to an event, right? And you want to handle it. You want to enjoy some things, but you really do want to stay on track. So let's use that example and talk through that today. And if you are watching this on replay, if you could go ahead and put hashtag replay below, I would appreciate that. And any questions or comments you have, just put them in there, right? I want to see it. I want to interact with you. I want to talk with you. I want to have some fun, do things a little different. So if you're going to the event and you want to stay on track, one of the first things that you can do is you can maybe plan out even months in advance, post-workout smoothie. You could choose your dinner option, right? Meat, fish, chicken. People still do that a lot, right? So if you have that option, then you can say, okay, at least for that meal, I kind of know what I'm going to have. Because one of the things that you want to think about is I want to have my meal be as close to a normal plate that I would of my own routine. And so what's a healthy balanced plate, right? You've got a good portion of protein, maybe say 4 to 8 grams, right? Again, this is so general, right? Because everybody's different, but about 4 to 8 grams of protein, 2 servings of vegetables, maybe 2 cups of vegetables. You've got maybe a starch on there, maybe a half a cup to a cup of starch. You've got some healthy fat, right? Boom. That's a nice balanced plate. And if you are worried about, if you're vegetarian, I know a lot of the vegetarian choices tend to be pasta dishes. So you kind of have to make that choice, do the best that you can. But a lot of my clients are kind of like me, where they're not vegetarian, but they definitely like more plant-based choices. So what I would say is just get as many veggies on your plate as possible. So boom, you can choose your meal. And so you know kind of what you're having as you go in. Because a lot of them have even descriptions, right? What it is there going to be sauce, not sauce. And they also do have something on there that says whether you've got an allergy or not. You can put that on there too. So just again, you have a little bit maybe of a heads up going into the wedding on what the meal is going to be. So you're walking in, you've got your date with you, right? Whoever that is, you're coming into the event. Usually the first thing is there's could be some sort of cocktail hour or hors d'oeuvres. So you can approach this in a couple different ways. One is that for the drinking piece of it, I honestly don't drink a lot. I did in college. I had the whole, thing that you do when you're in college. And I did, kind of in my 20s when I was more social in that way. But now, honestly, as soon as I have a mixed drink, depending on what it is, it can immediately make me hot flash. So boom. I don't do that. I stick with wine mostly. Honestly, I love bubbles. So a champagne, a sparkling rosé, something cool. Those have less calories and they're really good for me. So you want to decide as you go in kind of what you want to drink, and you want to really decide on a drink limit. 1 to 2 drinks might not sound like a lot, but if you're trying to stay on your goals, which is how this scenario is playing out, right? This is the example I'm talking through. If you want to stay on your goals, then limit your amount of drinks, right? And how you can do that very easily is you can have one alcoholic drink and then switch to like a seltzer, sparkling water with lime or lemon or whatever fruit in it, have that, and then maybe go to a different drink, right? Simple. Mix it up. And you really, really do want to have, I advise always having water, with your drink, right? A 1-for-1 ratio because you want to stay hydrated, right? And it's so hot in so many parts of the country right now, right? You need your water, especially if it's an outdoor event. So that's really what you want to think about. Now, it could be that maybe you're not just a guest, but maybe this is like for Sarah, it was a family event. So there can always be more options for alcohol. So again, space it out, know how much you're drinking, and stay away from drinks that are like mixed cocktails where they have lots of syrups in them, lots of sugary things, big frozen margaritas that are made with a prepackaged bar mix. Those are not great. If you're going to pick something, I recommend clear, right? So if you can have a clear liquor with a sparkling water, that's great. And then when you switch on and off, the alcohol pushers won't know what you're drinking. So that's a bonus. But again, lowest calorie options, sparkling wines, white wines. I also like events right now where they have like things like Trulies, right? So you've got those canned things and you've got the nutritional profile right there. You know how much sugar, you know how much calories, etc. So keep track of your drinks though. Right. And if you are already tracking your food, then boom, you've got your app on your phone already. So simple. So from an hors d'oeuvre perspective, I will pick, am I even going to have any of the hors d'oeuvres or not? Some of them just might not be foods that I don't want, right? If they're heavy, like little hot dogs on a blanket type things, those just do not appeal to me. But if there are some good choices, like some fresh fruit or some veggies, I might have like a little, some cheese, some crackers, some vegetable, that's all good. But honestly, too, depends on your environment, right? Are you sitting at a table? Is there a high top or do you have to stand there? You can't have a drink and a plate if there's no table and expected to eat or drink, right? You just can't do it. So that's actually good because if you can only focus on one thing, pick your thing, right? So if you're just standing there enjoying your cocktail, enjoy your cocktail. If you want to enjoy both, make sure you get a high top or a table, but get it far away from where the food is. Don't sit down or park your station, wherever you're claiming your space with your purse and your bag and you're looking great, maybe you're slipping off your high heels, giving your feet a break or something. Don't sit right in front of the buffet or the hors d'oeuvres, okay? Go more towards the back, right? And if you've got waiters or wait staff that are passing, right, food along, you can try something, just take a bite, maybe just don't finish everything. Okay. I tend to stay away from, unless something looks really, really good, I tend to stay away from things that are just kind of very, look like maybe they're fried or have a lot of like sauce or marinated or something in them. Just not for me. Or you can just totally decide, again, not to have any appetizers at all, enjoy a drink, and then focus on getting your calories from the meal. Okay. Oh, and one thing that I forgot to mention is sometimes what I will do, honestly, is before I even go into an event, I will have a smoothie. Why is that? I can get a really good serving of protein, fiber, right? Vitamins, minerals in here, fills me up, and I know it's good. And so when I go in, I'm less likely to be tempted by things that are going to be off plan, right? So that's a good option too. So you've gotten through the bar and, area, you've gotten through the ceremony. The wedding was beautiful, right? And now you're going into the meal. So again, your meal, make sure it's much of a healthy plate as possible. Lots of veggies are good. I'm not going to say don't have bread because I enjoy bread. But again, this is about being strategic and knowing that maybe you're going to have a little bit more calories than normal. So if you're having alcohol and you're going to have some sweet things when you don't normally have that, maybe don't have the bread, butter, right? Just avoid the bread basket. And also in terms of your portions, look at them. And if the portions are like really, really big, then don't clean your plate. Okay. Right. And you're still going to be able to get up from the table. Right. When I was little, it was like you sit at the table until you finish your plate. My grandfather was huge on this. And that's not like that now. You have a choice, right? You have a choice. You can break generational rules about food, okay? But again, lots of weddings that I'm going to, the food is fantastic, right? Super clean, really yummy, not a lot of sauces, not fattening, and very, very similar to what I've been eating at home. I guess that makes sense because a lot of my friends have kind of the same philosophies around food that I do. So now if you're thinking about, so you've gotten through hors d'oeuvres, right? You've gotten through drinks, you've gotten through the meal, now it's desserts. So for a lot of people, of course, it's just not wedding cake, right? Like when we had our wedding, we had all those mini desserts. And so we had like dessert trees where there were just little mini desserts everywhere, which are fantastic because you can have something small. They can also be dangerous because you have like 4 things and it's bigger than maybe a normal dessert. But that's okay because you can take some and you can just try it or you can finish it and eat it. And remember, everyone, the example I'm talking about is somebody who is on plan and they pretty much want to stay on plan yet still enjoy everything. Somebody could go in strategically and say, I'm just going to go in. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to eat what I want, and then I'll get back on plan the next day. And again, that's totally fine. The point of all of this is to decide in your head what you are going to do before you get there, right? That way you can, even before, earlier on the day of the event, right? You can start maybe eating to plan, right? I'm not saying don't eat and save up all your calories for later. That's not what I'm saying at all. But stay on plan, have your protein, have your veggies, have your vitamins, get a workout in, right? Stay as close to your normal plan as possible. But again, be strategic. I don't want you going into an event not eating all day and being so hungry that you inhale everything in sight. That's not a good plan. Okay, that's not a good plan. So, of course, there's going to be really drinks again all the way through. But I would say, again, just be strategic. Make sure you're drinking your water, right? For every alcoholic drink, have a drink of water, a bottle of water, a glass of water, whatever it is. So you stay hydrated. And remember, you're going to think about too, how do you want to feel the next day, right? Do you want to feel disappointed with yourself? Like if you decide up front, you're thinking, yeah, I'm just going to go to an event. I'm going to have whatever I want, whatever, and I'll be okay to get back on track the next day. Well, maybe you will, maybe you won't, right? This is going to take a little bit of experimentation as you learn yourself, because some people, they tend to maybe punish themselves, or even maybe they're just going to physically feel like crap, right? If you overeat and eat a lot of things that you haven't been eating in your normal food plan, you're going to feel gross. I'm just telling you, you're going to feel gross. You're going to be some sort of hungover. You're going to be fuzzy headed. And is that going to help you make the best choice the next day? Because it's really important. You don't want to go more than one day outside of doing your healthy routine, because then one day becomes 2 days and 2 days becomes 3, and it becomes harder to get back on track. So like, for example, working out, right? I'm going to work out. I'm going to have a rest day, but I'm going to get back on track the next day, right? I'm not going to wait and miss 2 days of workouts, because then that third day, if I try and go back, trust me, it's a lot harder. It's a lot harder even to get there. And then the workout is harder too, right? So again, think about how you want to feel the next day after the event. Something to consider, okay? So if you're wondering how Sarah did, I got the report from her. She said that she packed a lot of healthy snacks. So in the car on the way to the event, which I didn't even talk about, she had lots of healthy snacks. She had hard-boiled eggs. She had veggies. She had little cheese sticks and things. They brought their water so they weren't doing like gross road food. And she said, honestly, she ate healthy at the event. And she would take like a bite or two of some sweet things. And then she's like, no, I'm okay. I tried it. I'm good. And she did really, really well. And she felt so good about herself afterwards, right? She had confidence in her choices. She had confidence that the plan that she was going for and trying to create and trying to execute, right, was the right plan. So I'm so happy for her. So, PJ, you got a question. How do you choose your meals in remote areas, especially when a client's taking you out? Okay, this is a great question. So I've got It's 12:20, so we're 20 minutes in. Just to reset the room here, what I'm talking about is how, if you have an event to go to, like maybe a singular event, or if you have to go to lots of events because it's football season, or you're traveling for work, or you've got a lot of work events, whatever, how do you strategically handle one or many events so that you can stay on track, right? Because it's about mindset beforehand, deciding what you want to do, and then it's about going in with a plan and then making sure that you get back on track as soon as you can, right? So um, if somebody's I don't know what you mean by remote area, PJ. So I'm going to address this. I had another client, she was going to Kansas City, and she knew she was going to a certain restaurant for a dinner event. And so she sent me the menu in advance, and she said, "Oh my gosh, I don't know what to eat." And she's like, "Can you help me pick something out?" And I answered her back. I said, "I can, of course, help you pick something out. But remember, think about what your healthy plate looks like. Good source of clean protein, lots of vegetables, a little starch, and some healthy fat. So as long as your plate looks like that, you're good to go. Avoid a lot of the sauces, right? Watch out for things that have been marinated, things that say like maple sugar and things like that. You got to watch out for that, right? Because there's going to be a lot of sugar and added salt and things. And then, just watch your alcohol and, decide whether you're going to have dessert or not and plan accordingly. And she's like, "Yeah, okay. You're right. You're right. I've got this. It's a good menu. This is probably what I have." So it ended up working out, right? Same rules. So PJ, if you don't know where you're going necessarily, then again, you do the best you can. And if you think it's a situation where maybe you're not going to be able to get in enough protein or whatnot, then, carry snacks with you when you travel, right? Bring a little travel blender, bring your protein powders, bring travel friendly snacks. Getting your protein in is usually the most important, right? Because protein is very filling. It's very satiating. You're building, lean muscle. I always make sure when I'm traveling to take all my vitamins with me. And then again, when you get there, you just do the best you can. I have been in situations where I've been in a restaurant, I'm just like, the choices are all crap. And so I end up, usually when that's the case, I maybe don't order a meal that's set. Sometimes I'll just go like to the appetizer menu, side of the menu, and I'll say, "Oh, wow, this looks really good." And I'll get like maybe 2 or 3 vegetable type options, right? Or maybe there's a small like chicken skew or something and then vegetable. So I'll make a meal out of that. So again, if you just always think in your head, PJ, about what is a healthy plate and take into account any dietary restrictions that you do have, or your style of eating, then you should be okay. Does that help, PJ? And if you have a really specific question, let me know, because remote areas, I don't know what that means. Are you talking about in the mountains? I'm not sure. If you're in California, you get a ton of great options for eating healthy in California. That is for sure. My daughter lived in California for a while, and it was wonderful to go out there and visit her. So that's really all I had for today. So I just want to, a couple things. I've had a couple people ask me about the post that I put up yesterday about my client, Mike, because yes, my 90-day program is designed mostly for women, but I do occasionally take a guy client in, especially if he's a great guy with great goals, really coachable, and I really think I can help, right? Can I help? If so, yeah. If I don't think I can, then I'll tell them, right? Because I don't want to waste anybody's time or money, including mine. So I do work with men occasionally. And here's the great part. The few men clients that I have had, usually the wife gets involved too, which is terrific. So I am happy to say, hopefully I'll be able to talk to Mike's wife this afternoon, because she is interested in getting started with her husband losing 38 pounds in 30 days, right? He's just doing so great, and he's really enjoying the process. So I am taking applications, right? Enrollment is now open for my fall slots for Fatigue to Fabulous. And again, fundamentally, what is my program about? It is about making sure that you've got the big boulders taken care of, right? You've got that strong base. What are the big boulders? The food that you're eating, the movement that you're doing, the sleep that you're getting, right? The stress that you're managing. And then adding in some detox to that for, health and for pro-aging benefits all of those things benefit your metabolism, your hormones, men and women. I'm not just talking about estrogen, folks, right? I'm talking about testosterone. I'm talking about estrogens. I'm talking about ghrelin. I'm talking about leptin. I'm talking about cortisol. I'm talking about melatonin, right? We all have these hormones. These hormones dictate everything that our body does. So when you get those fundamentals right, the hormonal changes that women, we in particular get, because we get it like this, whereas men, you got that slow decline of testosterone, right? Women, we get hit hard, right? So if you have the fundamentals right, then you can ride those waves so much easier. I was just talking to my friend Carmen today. I saw her in the gym. She hadn't been back for a long time. And we got into a discussion about menopause. And she's like, girl, it's happening, and I was like, you got to stop. You got to stop with these HIIT workouts. I've been going to Pilates even just this week. I've had a couple pounds drop on the scale just from, easing up my workouts, going to Pilates, focusing on strength, focusing on walking. And, we're going to actually have lunch next week and talk about maybe getting her on a plan because, just we have to change because our body is changing. We have to take care of our body. It's the only body we have. And we have to do it with a focus on health. But damn, sorry, am I supposed to say that on LinkedIn? I still want to look good too. I want to look good in my clothes. I want to feel good. I want to be strong. This girl who I was lifting with next today, after the workout, she looks at me, she goes, "You're really strong." I was like, thanks. I appreciate that. That's what I want. Strong, healthy, sexy, vibrant, confident, right? That's what this is all about. So working with me, I give you those tools. I give you those strategies. I give you that knowledge to help guide you through. So at the end of 90 days, you know what the heck you're doing. You've gotten great results and you can continue. You can continue with them. It's phenomenal. So again, applications for fall enrollment are open. I really want to hear from you. Another reason, I guess, somebody asked me, why do you always just talk about helping women? Look, I will help men too, but I'm a woman. I went through hashtag AF. It was hard AF when I went through all my hormonal changes. I should not have stayed on hormonal birth control that long. I just shouldn't have. And I didn't have a good plan coming off it. So I really suffered. So I focus my passion, my priorities helping women because there is a lack of information out there. There is misinformation out there. When we're talking about hormones, health, we're talking about weight loss, we're talking about being healthy, we're talking about being flexible, having great muscle tone, right? Sleeping well, managing stress. And we're all so busy that I don't want you to have to waste time trying to figure it out on your own. I've been there. I want to help you. I want to give you my plan because I know it works. And then you can stop suffering, right? It's so worth it. It's so worth the investment. So reach out to me. If you want to apply to work together, we'll have a great conversation. If I think you're a good fit, we'll talk about next steps and we'll get rolling on it. So that is it for today. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Remember, your body doesn't know it's the weekend. So stay on your routine as much as possible. Get your good sleep. Stay consistent with that sleep schedule. It's so much better for you. We've talked about sleep a lot these past couple weeks. Eat good, move your body, go have fun, go be with friends, get some fresh air, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. That's what I want for you. So everybody, thank you so much. I will see you back here on Monday, 12 p.m. EST with a whole new week's worth of topics as we continue 30 Days of Wellness. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great day. I'm going to go grab lunch. Bye-bye.